Hey, sorry. Hi guys. So I've been doing this for about the past week. If you guys don't want to get into a thing about apple processing, if you don't want to know how to save these, you probably don't want to watch this. But for the people that are into like canning or you want to like make sustainable food that's going to last you throughout the winter, this is how the best way is. I finally figured out how to get every last bit out of an apple and make out of one pack of apples. We're gonna make 10 trays of dehydrated apples and some super healthy, low fat, heart healthy apple banana muffins that are fabulous, which I'll just give you the recipe for that because I know you don't want to write this long. It's only gonna be about 5 minutes because I know everybody's got time that they don't want to waste listening to me. So anyway, and then we'll also do our apple
butter.
What's it called? Apple butter. Yeah, because I can the apple butter. And then also apple leather that goes in the dehydrator as well. So we're going to get 4 different things.
Tastes like sandpaper.
A pack of, it doesn't taste like sandpaper. It has the texture of sandpaper because I add flaxseed to everything that I make so that we can get those omegas in it. So, because it's good for the kids to get the omega fatty acids in. So of course, if you can find a way to sneak in flaxseed to like apple leather, they're like fruit roll-ups but healthy without all the garbage. So anyway, whenever you're doing any kind of like apple stuff to begin with, or any kind of thing when you're slicing it, you always want to make sure that you can preserve it really good. So what I've learned is that there's different ways you can do it. You could take lemons, like the lemons. I'm gonna sneak right in here real quick. So you could just put the lemons and do the lemon water and just the water. That's one way to do it. And these, Kroger right now is having a sale. Today they're only open till 3 o'clock, so like everything is like half off right now. So we just went and stocked up on like $500 worth of groceries. We've got like 2 freezers full right now. But that's awesome, of like a bunch of good frozen stuff. Good healthy frozen stuff. Not a lot of the garbage that they have, but anyway, so this is one way that you can do it, is you just add lemon to water, you know, blah blah with all the lemon to water stuff. All right, so we'll put a pause on that. There's other options that you can do. So hold on. So another thing that you can do is you can also take just regular water, and for every 1 cup of water you add, hold on a second, ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. And vitamin C actually, it helps to get the whiteness out, because you know how like whenever you cut apples and they always turn brown and you're like, ew, I don't want to eat them. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just the oxygen that's getting to them. But you can actually, and this is good for the dehydration process, you can put 1/2 teaspoon per cup into the water. If you don't have lemons on, well, some people probably don't have that vitamin C on them either, but a vitamin C tablet, 1,500 milligrams. This is about 1,500 milligrams, a little bit more than that, but 1,500 milligrams per 1/2 teaspoon of vitamin C. Now this is real vitamin C, not citric acid. See, people get those confused. People think ascorbic acid, citric acid. Not true. If you look at the molecular chain of them, they're actually different. And one of the things that I was reading out of, because I'm going to do 2 cups, out of Leanne Dearduff's book, where she talks about the different, what are they called? The way that the scientists, they take certain things that we don't want out of the good stuff, and then they connect it, or they disconnect it. Anyways, it's a long story short. Anyway, scientists, they find out what works good in nature, then they pull that molecule out, and then they make a drug out of it. But they're not taking the entire part of all the molecules that make that plant work, which is why prescription things or things that are man-made do not have the same effect, and they're usually missing a particular molecule that nature has provided for the whole plant to be used in a whole, if that makes sense. Hopefully that wasn't like too confusing. I think I kind of confused myself on that one, but I know what I'm talking about. But long story short, ascorbic acid is vitamin C. Citric acid is a piece of vitamin C. It's not really the true vitamin C. So anyway, I know, blah, blah, blah. That's long. So this is 2 cups, so I use basically 1 teaspoon of vitamin C, and then that. Now here's my favorite tool. We take this over here, and that way we're gonna dump it in here. But the, oh, did you pause it?
No.
Oh.
No, a little friend thing popped up. Invite your friends. And I had to exit out because I was confused about it.
Oh.
Yeah, no big.
Oh, all right, so
Cereal, hi.
this little thing right here. Oh, by the way, inside here, to clean this fruit, I used a little bit of Thieves Cleaner because I use cleaner. Yeah, a little bit of Thieves, very, very diluted, and then vinegar. And then that gets a lot of the funky stuff off when I let them soak inside here, and then I kind of rubbed them around a bit, and now they're good. So here is our apples and my super fabulous tool that I love. So this little ditty is, all right. This is how we get every last bit out of an apple. Come on, get in there. So these I picked up at the farmer's market the other day. It was like $10 for whatever's in there. So however much that is. So then I just toss these in here. And now the lids, these guys, I take and I toss over there. Because they're going to go in the food processor. Those guys are going to be our, this is going to be our fruit leather and our base for our muffins. So it's going to be both of that. And then the core goes in there. So we've got dehydrated apples, and then we've got the core, and then we got the peels. Also, this one didn't peel very well, but the peels go in here too. And then what I do is I cook those down for quite a ways, and here's my favorite tool.
It's pretty.
I love this little ditty.
It's pretty.
So then I always do one little slice on these. And sometimes, if you really want to save money, which we like to do, Kroger has those, the discount rack where you can get like a whole bundle of fresh fruit for like $1. So you just take those, and then if it's kind of, see, this one's already starting to get funky, so we're just going to put them under here and let them all soak in the water. They need to soak for about 3 to 5 minutes in this solution. So, and then these, I put them inside this because it's stainless steel, and it's not gonna, well, I just like stainless steel for anything. The dehydrator, these are our dehydrating trays. Our dehydrator has 10 trays, and it's stainless steel. It's a very big dehydrator, but because we do a lot of dehydrating because we have a lot of children and mouths to feed. So we do things in mass bulk, as bulk as we can do them around here.
So, just a question. If somebody was to have like maybe a 3-person family, how would 10 trays, like how much would that benefit them?
Well, I get when I fill up 10 trays this size, I get 2 full gallon containers of dried apples. So that's about what it gives me. So it's a little bit, it's about a peck and a half to fill 10 trays with these kind of slices. And then it's, and then I get 2 gallons. I fill 2 gallons of stuff out of it. So that's our, and these guys, so out of that same amount, I can get, out of all these cores and stuff, I wind up with only 3 pints of apple butter. But the apple butter is very, very simple ingredients. It's maple syrup. Thank you, Vicki, for the maple syrup from Vermont, because that's all I used. I cook this down, and then once these are cooked down, I want to bring it over here so you can see this thing here. Once these cook down inside this container here, once they cook, this thing when I'm done, it's going to be filled up all the way almost to the top. So then I just put water in it until it's just over it. And then they're all going to simmer down. I'll let it cook on like low to medium for about 5 to 6 hours, and then some. Like I let it cook down, and it'll be about halfway full. And then I take them and I put them over in here, and then I take this same big container here or one of my bowls underneath, and I just round and around and around and around And then everything comes out of this, and the only thing that's left is seeds. And if there's any peelings in here, then there's just gonna be the peelings, but that's it. I mean, it's literally like this will be full and I'll have like less than a half of a handful of stuff left over. So you're using, and it's mostly seeds. So you're using every single bit and you're getting like 3 or 4 different things out of it because you're getting the leather, the muffins, the apple butter, and the dehydrated apples. So it's a win-win. I will post these.
It's an awesome apple.
Yeah, well, it's the best way to get it, but that way you're not wasting anything. So it goes all the way to the top. I wasn't doing anything with the cores last week when I was making these, and my dad said, he's like, you know, Grandma used to make apple jelly out of the cores. And I said, well, how does that work? And so I started looking up apple jelly, and it all calls for sugar. We don't do sugar, especially white sugar is just awful for you. So like, I can't make jelly because I'm not going to put the sugar in my family's body. So apple butter, I use the maple sugar, or not maple sugar, but just maple
Syrup.
maple syrup. 1 cup of maple syrup for the entire batch, which is still kind of sweet, but it's not overly sweet. It's got a nice consistency. As a matter of fact, ta-da! So that's the apple butter. This is, so I got 3.5 when I did it the other day. So that's what I got out of it. And it's really yummy.
It's butter?
And it's cinnamon. Well, it's kind of like a jelly, except it's a little bit healthier jelly because it doesn't have all the sugar. It's got natural pectin in it.
You said butter, and I'm thinking like something to spread on toast.
Also, for this, when I make the fruit leather out of this, what I do is when I put all of these are going to go in here, I actually make the fruit leather out of the peelings. That's why it's really important to make sure that you wash them. So these I blend up in the food processor, and then I add my leftover water, whatever's in here, into that. And then I add flaxseed until it gets to kind of like a yogurt consistency, usually about 4 tablespoons. I grind it up, and then I have silicone mats. I have 2 silicone mats that I put on top of these, and I'll do that later so you can see how I do that. But anyway, it makes 4 things. So that's it. I don't want to bore you guys. Have a great day. It's a beautiful, is it Tuesday? Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Thank you, Lord, for the beautiful day. And love you guys. Bye.